In today's video, I want to share with you 5 major crypto events that are going to be happening in 2022. Now, these are events that are going to affect specific coins as well as the entire macro picture for crypto. My name's Lark. Every day I make videos talking about cryptocurrency investing. So if that is a topic that you do like learning about, you like staying up to date with, then a quick tap on the thumbs up button to let me know that you appreciate this kind of content would be super freaking awesome. Also, if you'd like to earn a safe and simple passive income on your cryptocurrencies, then you need to check out Celsius. You can get $50 in Bitcoin using the link down below. You get 6.2% earned interest on your Bitcoin, 5.35% on your Ethereum. Great rates on altcoins and stablecoins as well. So just hit up that first link in the description if you'd like to get signed up. Now let's go ahead and get into the first story here. Solana Labs CEO reveals plan for upgrades. Yes, great news. Now, in case you haven't been keeping up to date with Solana, maybe you haven't been using it very much, there's been some issues over the past couple of months. The network had to kind of be rebooted a few times. Whoops. We also had some times when the network suffered from some pretty big drawdowns in performance as people rush in for ICOs, or we have DDoS attacks, that kind of stuff going on. So there's been a lot of complaints recently about Solana and saying, hey, look, guys, you really need to get this sorted out. You know, if you want to keep your users happy, if you want to keep people in here, you want to keep people building on Solana, you got to do something about that. So guess what? They're doing something about it. It's good news for Solana. So they've already started rolling out some different upgrades, but obviously the highest priority right now is to ensure that the network performance issues actually get sorted out. You can't keep having these network degradations or rebooting the network or whatever else might have been going on over the past few months. You need to have a nice, smooth user experience on all the time with, of course, dirt cheap fees. Gotta have everything. You gotta have everything. Well, the good news is that these issues should be addressed and be fixed with the improvements, the upgrades being rolled out in the next 4 to 5 weeks. So either by the end of February or sometime early to mid-March, we should see, fingers crossed, these key issues being fixed with Solana. So that is very good news, and I think it'll be very, very good for the entire Solana ecosystem. Obviously, the Solana ecosystem has been growing at a great rate with lots of cool games and lots of cool DeFi being launched on Solana. So definitely good news for the entire Solana network here. The second big news story, the Federal Reserve. This one is scheduled for around March. So we've talked a lot about the Federal Reserve raising interest rates. Now we have the Bank of America coming out here and saying that they could actually see the Fed raise interest rates 7 times in 2022. If that was the case, it'd be pretty dramatic compared to what has been happening for the rates. Basically, the real negative rates have been insane. Inflation's been massively high. The interest rates, 0, it's been a crazy situation right now. However, if they do 7 interest rate raises, that'd be massive. So far, the Fed has only confirmed that they're probably going to be doing 3. A lot of bank executives been kind of fear-mongering that there's going to be loads of bank interest rate hikes from the central bank. What we do know is that it seems as if, again, the Federal Reserve has not given a definitive answer to this, but it seems like the first interest rate hike will happen in March sometime. So we're watching out for that. Obviously, I think the equity markets will be keeping a very close eye on what happens with these interest rate hikes. If the Fed signals that they're going to do more than they've previously announced, I think would bring a bit of fear into the market. If the Fed actually sticks with just doing 3, as they previously said, things should be pretty chill, I reckon, with the equity markets. But March will be our first interest rate hike, according to all the information that we've heard from the Federal Reserve so far. So that's a pretty big macro event to keep an eye on. Now, a lot of fear has been put out around interest rate hikes, but the reality is, as I shared with you previously, interest rate hikes often actually see a positive return in terms of correlation, a positive return in the stock markets in the first year following interest rate hikes. So even though the interest rates are going to go up, stock markets will also likely go up during that time. If the stock markets go up, the crypto market's probably also going to go up during that time. So this is a major event we're watching out for in the month of March. Now, moving forward in time, Ethereum merge set to happen by June 2022. Now, this is such a big event. Ethereum, obviously the number 2 cryptocurrency by market cap. It accounts for around 20%. Just the Ethereum asset accounts for around 20% of the entire cryptocurrency industry. If we account for all the stable coins on top of Ethereum, all the DeFi, all the gaming, all the NFTs on top of Ethereum, then it's probably worth, twice as much as the market cap of just the main Ether asset. It is going to be going through a major upgrade this year. So if the timeline is kept to, and we do see this happening mid-year in June, then Ethereum is going to officially turn off the proof of work network and flip the switch on for the proof of stake network. That will mean that Ethereum will be so much more energy efficient. It'll go from using the power of a small country to run the Ethereum network to basically the power of a small town to run the entire Ethereum network. So that's a big deal. Of course, also with the move to proof of stake, we get a 90% reduction in Ethereum emissions as they make a drastic reduction to that. We also, of course, with EIP 1559 burning off Ethereum, we will see a negative issuance starting mid-year 2022 for Ethereum. So that means every day, every week, every month, the amount of Ethereum emitted will not outpace the amount of Ethereum burned due to EIP 1559, meaning that Ethereum will be deflationary. So that's pretty gosh darn big news. Of course, as mentioned previously, this upgrade will probably not do much to fix the fee situation on Ethereum. Until then, use Layer 2s. I gave a great tutorial on how to use Layer 2 Ethereum recently. In fact, Arbitrum, the Layer 2 scaling solution that I showed you how to use in a tutorial, that actually just reduced their gas fees again. So they had a network upgrade that allowed them to bring their gas fees down even lower. So it's even cheaper to use Arbitrum now, so you don't have any excuse not to use Layer 2 Ethereum. So go ahead and check that out if you're not using it yet. But this will be a big economic story for Ethereum, and just massive for the entire cryptocurrency space, because Ethereum obviously is still the big boy when it comes to smart contract platforms. The fourth story, the Bitcoin ETF, the spot Bitcoin ETF, that is. Oh, we've told stories about this one. There's legends that it'll happen someday. One day. Anyway, that day may be mid-2022, according to a lot of experts. Now, this one is much more of a maybe when it comes to when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen. We just saw the SEC reject another 2 Bitcoin spot, maybe even 3 Bitcoin spot ETF applications in the last couple of weeks. They really don't want a spot Bitcoin ETF to come through for some reason, unfortunately. However, a lot of market analysts, market experts, they say that, well, look for mid-2022. That's when we are going to see the SEC finally approve one of these spot Bitcoin ETFs. Now, a spot Bitcoin ETF is a big damn deal because it allows people actual access to Bitcoin. You see, right now, the US has half a dozen futures denominated Bitcoin ETFs. So that trades off the price of Bitcoin, but doesn't actually have any real exposure to Bitcoin. So it's cash settled. It's garbage junk contracts. It's absolute rubbish. It's unfortunate that's all the US has authorized. Canada has spot Bitcoin ETFs. Brazil has spot Bitcoin ETFs. Other countries have different spot Bitcoin related products, whether they be ETPs or whatever they might be. US still screwing over regular investors by forcing them to hold onto futures contracts, not letting them get what they actually want, which is a spot Bitcoin ETF. This will tap into trillions of dollars in investment money that's simply not going to buy Bitcoin until they can get a spot Bitcoin ETF. There's a lot of money on the sidelines that's just not going to do it. They don't want a futures contract. They don't want to hold their own damn private keys. They want to go to the broker account that they've been using forever and buy Bitcoin there on a spot Bitcoin ETF from a company they trust, like Fidelity, for example. And that's what's going to happen. It's just a question of when. Experts saying mid-2022, so maybe we'll see a summer surprise for the spot Bitcoin ETF. And finally, the fifth major event to be watching if you are a cryptocurrency investor in 2022, Cardano. The Hydra scaling solution is apparently closer than ever. Now, initially, it was said that we're looking at sometime in the end of 2022 for Hydra to come on board. However, it seems that we could actually be seeing this according to a new update out of IOHK. We could see the initial release anyway, coming as soon as June. Fingers crossed that is indeed what we get, because with the recent release of Sunday Swap onto the Cardano mainnet, which of course is a decentralized exchange on Cardano, the Cardano space available to the blockchain has been getting pushed to its upper limits as we see a huge amount of users coming in demanding access to these DeFi products on Cardano. Scaling is needed here and now, and hopefully we're going to be getting it within the first half of the year. So that'd be a pretty gosh darn big deal if that is indeed what we do end up getting. Now, Hydra is basically looking at like massive, like 1000x scalability for Cardano. So if we get this in June, that suddenly takes Cardano to being a major player in terms of scalability for a blockchain. So this would be a very, very big deal. We've already got so much happening on Cardano, and more is just going to keep happening. We have our first major DeFi application launched. We've had NFTs for a while. We have, a metaverse happening on Cardano. We have all these users who are doing in the staking and stuff like this, and people just want more and more products from Cardano. The Cardano community obviously is massive, and that is why we need to see it scaling sooner rather than later. But it seems like the IOHK team may be ahead of schedule on the release for the Hydra scaling solution. Now, as an initial release, so it may not be, the full 1000x scalability that we can imagine. Maybe they're going to start it off with a bit more of a limited approach, but even a limited approach, if that were to be the case, would be massive for Cardano to help scale it up and to help users get the kind of massive scaling experience that they want to have on the Cardano blockchain. So that, again, another mid-year story, so keep an eye out for that to come. It should be a big deal because Cardano, as you know, is one of the biggest cryptocurrencies in the market. Anyway, those are my 2 Satoshis for the day. What do you think? Are these the 5 most important stories that are going to affect the crypto market in 2022? Or is there another story that absolutely should have been mentioned on my list? Lark, how'd you not talk about this? Well, let us all know about it down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and peace out till next time.